Welcome to week 10. Let's say thank you to Steve Fugger and Julie Bachman, who led us in week 9 and chapter 6 in experiential learning. Didn't they do a great job? So far, we've had 2 student groups, and both of them have really done a good job with chapter 5 and transformative learning and chapter 6 and experiential learning. So you are really embracing the notions of student leading chapters and in developing some really excellent materials. So good work. This week we have Delia Andrew and Richard Black, who are leading us in body and spirit and learning. Embodied learning. Learning that we have, that kind of is expressed in the metaphor, it's like riding a bike, that we just don't forget because the learning was embodied. It was maybe muscle memory, or it was learned in such a way that it was so contextualized that that the memory of it is infused with multiple modalities. For example, if you walk into a room and smell, and it may be a room that is new to you, and you smell chocolate chip cookies, it may take you to a very special place in your mind, maybe with your grandmother or your mother, and making those very special treats, and maybe even you being a part of it for the first time and so forth. The same kind of thing can happen if we see something or touch something, or something occurs in a way that it takes us to a very different space that is emotionally charged and personally emotionally charged. So let's take a look at our framework with body and spirit in learning. As we explore this, and in this particular chapter, embodied learning focuses our body's ability to learn about the world using our senses. We just spoke about that, and think about it in another way. Think about how much we learn that is other than visual, and how long we seem to be able to hold on to that learning and recall it in a rich, contextualized way. We explore life from the time that we're tiny through our senses. Babies want to put everything in their mouths. They want to touch everything. We don't do that anymore. We pretty much try to learn, especially in the Western Hemisphere, try to learn in a very cognitive way. This chapter takes us to other than cognitive learning, with spirit and with embodied learning. So what's spiritual learning? And why would we even be talking about spiritual learning when we're not talking about religion? So when we talked about my friend Cookie and his story, in many ways, certainly for me, that is a very spiritual learning. He was a friend who continues to evoke and inspire what I consider the very best in people, and certainly the best in myself, in me. And that comes from a spiritual wellspring that is enriched by knowing him. He gave me a sense of reaching higher, even when it seemed like all the cards were stacked against him. He always had a smile on his face and just kept trying. And the little things that happen in life every day that seem to get us down can be reframed when thinking about a person like Cookie, who instead of being depressed in a situation that had to have been crushingly depressing in many respects. He had everything going in a very vital way. He had all kinds of scholarships, and all of that was just gone. And yet, he saw it differently. We know people like that, don't we? So think about body and spirit in learning. Think about how we know what we know about the very best things in life. About music, about beauty, about caring, about justice and fairness. All right, so this chapter encourages us to take advantage of embodied learning and spirituality in our individual learning and in our individual teaching. So think in terms of what we can do in our own ways of facilitating learning that might really bring this high road emotional piece to our classes, to our lessons. So for week 10, chapter 7, and that's spiritual and embodied learning. Our individual learning project is the next project that's coming up, and that is due April 11th. We are currently involved or just finishing the knowledge check for chapters 4, 5, and 6. The knowledge check for 7, 8, and 9 will open, and hopefully I will get it open this time. You know, every once in a while what seems to happen, and I don't know why it is, that when a forum is set to open, it opens and then closes right back up again, or is opened up so that you can see it, and then when the computer shut off, then it closes back up again. It is, however, my responsibility to check on that right before it should open. So right before 5 a.m. I should definitely check on that. And I have to tell you, I was up at 1:30, so I could have done it. I apologize and hope that did not inconvenience anyone. So I thank you for your patience, and you have a little bit of extra time for the chapter 4, 5, and 6, or you did at that time have more time, and I hope that that worked out for you. So for the knowledge check, we're going to go back to our 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. opening at 5 a.m. on April 8th and closing on the 10th at 5 p.m. Our activity this time is your health and well-being activity. So I look forward to that. Take a look at your health and well-being activity in the forum for this time. All right, so we've got some things that are here for us, and so take a look at the various what Richard and Dealey did for us this time is to create a slide set that is a video slide set, and it's a really nice one. I hope you enjoy it. Then they've got it in PDF for us, and then they've got an interview with some Moken people that talk about the tsunami in their island. Got some questions to think about, and 8 reasons to develop a spiritual connection, as well as a reading from Elizabeth Keelan. So, with that, let's get started. Week 10. We'll see you in the forum.